The VAR Show. The one place for your weekly football update.
Hola, very warm welcome to the VAR show, the show which talks about all the various major football leagues in detail. Today we are going to continue the theme of interviews, and we have a very influential figure in the South Asian footballing culture of late, and also in the English footballing culture. We have the former head coach of Nepal, Mr. Graham Roberts, with us. For those who do not know, Mr. Roberts is an English retired footballer and manager who played as defender for numerous clubs, which included Tottenham Hotspur, where he won the FA Cup and the UEFA Cup. He also played for Rangers, where he won the Scottish League and the Scottish League Cup. He played for Chelsea, where he won the second division. He also played for West Bromwich Albion. He was also capped 6 times by England, and then he subsequently served as the head coach of the Pakistan national team and Nepal national team, among a host of other teams. So without wasting much time, I would like to thank Mr. Roberts for coming on the show. Thank you and welcome to our show, and I would like to begin the interview by asking you, how are you and what are you doing during this pandemic period?
Yes, I'm very well, thank you. I'm at home by myself. It's very hard staying indoors for 7 weeks, but you have to, because you have to save lives. And the bottom line of it is, you cannot go out and do what you used to do. You just got to wait till this pandemic finishes and then carry on after that.
So we'll move on to a lighter topic, football, and our first question was sent in by Ashish Khatiwala, and you have a lot of fans in Nepal. Trust me, you have a lot of fans. Like, you should probably come back. So he says that you are by far the most loved foreign manager in Nepal, if not the most, in decades. And people did believe that you had a vision, when you were here, and a project going further. Football fans still remember you because maybe you were the last person who had made the country achieve so much. Maybe how did you see your time in Nepal, like as a football manager?
Thank you for that kind words. I think I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it. We had a great team, we had a great squad. It was a pity that we didn't win the SAF championships. We deserved to win that. We were probably one of the better sides in the competition. But, if you make a mistake in them competitions, you get knocked out. But, no, I felt that what I was doing there was good. I think the players improved a lot. They got a bit more professional. And, it was a sad ending. But at the end of it, sometimes you have to walk away and move on, but I never ever regret doing the job that I did there. I really enjoyed it. It was a fantastic place, and I miss a lot of people there.
So you have played for such big clubs. You have Chelsea, Tottenham, Rangers, to name a few. And like, in comparison, how is the football atmosphere in Nepal?
Oh, I can remember when I first went there, and I was talking to the staff, and I think the first game we ever played, there was probably about 1,500 people. And then, the aim was, I wanted to make them successful. I wanted to make the stadium hostile for the people that the other teams that came there, and all of a sudden we started winning games. I can remember we went to Pokhara and we played, I can't remember who we played now, but we won down there, and then we played the same team a few months later, and we played them in Kathmandu, and all of a sudden we had a full house, and it was 25,000 people, and there was 10,000 people outside the stadium, and that's what made the players play better. And we started to get on the run, and we got into the qualifiers, and we won them, and all of a sudden it was a team that were going forward. And I think the players started to believe that there was more to just playing football. There was an end project that we wanted to win. The major tournament for us was the SAF Championship, and we wanted to win that. And they all believed in what I was trying to tell them. So yeah, they were a good bunch of boys. It was a shame we never won it, but we tried very, very hard.
So the next question is sent in by Mr. Sonam Ghale. So he asked like the players who played for you, they can run through brick walls for you. They speak so highly of you, but you only stayed maybe for a year and a half in Nepal. During that time, maybe what were the difficulties in working as a coach of Nepal? Were there any difficulties you faced?
Yeah, I think sort of 18 months wasn't long enough, really. I think, we had a project, and I think if we'd have had it for 3-4 years, we would have definitely won trophies. The problem was that, behind the scenes, there were certain people, I'm not going to mention them because I don't want to hurt them, but there were certain people that were always poking their nose in. But, I'm a strong character, and I stuck by my guns, and, I wanted to do it my way. And I think that the one factor that never, ever, we couldn't get to terms with were we weren't playing enough games. We couldn't travel abroad every so often. Yes, we did when we had the SAF Championships. We went to the Philippines and Thailand, but you need to do that more often. If you want a successful team, you need to play better teams, and you need to play teams that you can grow on. And at the end of it, we were playing. I think we travelled twice, and it wasn't good enough, really. We needed to play more games. And I think that the day then when we went to Jordan in the World Cup qualifier and we lost 9-0, I could see after 10 minutes that the boys were frightened because they hadn't been abroad before, and you can sense it in the team. And then when we played them at home and we drew 1-1, we should have beat them at home. Then it was a totally different team because they had their crowd behind them. But at the end of it, yeah, it was very difficult to get the mentality right of the players because they never ever, went out of the country. Everything was in Nepal, and sometimes you need to travel, you need to get experience, and the only way you do that is to play better teams.
So you picked up a very nice topic, and that's a very good segue for my next question. So you have worked with a lot of talented people like Anil Gurung, Sagar Thapa, Rohit Chand, at least in terms of Nepalese football. So in your opinion, why don't Nepali players, why haven't they all been playing outside a lot? Is it that they lack the quality, or what is it like, according to you?
No, I don't. Listen, they don't lack quality. But a lot of players are just happy to get their money that they're getting in Nepal, and their way of life there. They have a good way of life. Maybe they don't want to expand themselves. They don't want to, put themselves under pressure by going abroad, because it is difficult, because some of them were married, some of them had girlfriends, and those that comes into the action, really. The bottom line of it is that if you haven't got that in you, that you want to travel abroad. I see Kieran, the goalkeeper, he plays abroad. He loves it. And every time I see him on Facebook, he's getting better and better. And he was only young when I had him. So for him, and it was fantastic. And there's a few others that went abroad. So yeah, you need to play in better leagues. You need to play in better players, and that will make you better. And no disrespect to the Nepalese leagues, but all of a sudden, I was watching maybe in a month 60 games on one pitch, and that can't happen. You have to have better facilities. You have to have better quality. And I remember sitting in the stadium, at the national stadium, and all of a sudden you were it was pouring with rain, and they were playing in a foot of rain, a foot of puddles everywhere. And that's not going to make you a better player. That's just going to tire you out, and you have no ability, no skill comes into it. So yes, they need to. I don't know what the pitches are like there now. I don't know if they've improved their. I know they were getting an AstroTurf when I left. So hopefully they've improved, and there's better pitches around.
So in one of the World Cup qualifier games, you turned up in the Nepali attire, Daura Surwal and Dhaka Topi. So why did you do that? What made you do that?
I had a chat with the staff, and I just felt that it would give everybody a lift in the stadium. I was very privileged to be able to do it. Nobody knew about it. So it was for me to give something back to the supporters and to the staff and to the president. I just felt I had to do that. It was hard because I was wearing it in the game and I wanted to put my tracksuit on, but it was I thoroughly enjoyed it. It was a fantastic day. We won the game, so that's even better. So
you also, before Nepal, you were the head coach of Pakistan. So when you compare both the teams, how would you compare the culture between the two countries in respect to football?
Pakistan was a lot harder for the culture, and there was a lot of things happening in that country at that time. But saying that, they looked after me. I've got to say, I was frightened when I was there, but that was a way of life at that time. Nepal, totally different. I had the run around of, once I got in there for 2-3 months, I knew my way around. I could just jump in a taxi or a car, and I could go to a restaurant, and I can go to the shops, and just walk around the shops from the hotel I was staying in. Yeah, it was a totally different culture, and I loved every minute of it. And it was nice to have a bit of freedom as well.
So, if it's a very light question, if you had to choose one restaurant which was your favorite during your time in Nepal, which one would that be?
Favorite
restaurant?
Sorry,
eatery place.
Oh, sorry, you're in and out. I can't eat.
Favorite restaurant?
Oh, right. Restaurant. There was a couple actually. I can't remember the names of them, but there was a sort of not an English one, but like an American Englishy sort of one that was up in. I'm trying to think of where it was, because my friend came out and stayed with me for a while. We used to go there a lot. My children came out. My daughter Holly and her son Joshua came out for 3 weeks, 2-3 weeks. So they enjoyed it. But there were some really nice restaurants, and we got to like them, and we would go there very often. I can't remember the name.
Okay, it's totally fine. I'll let that one go. So let's talk about the Premier League, since you have been involved so much. Like this season, of course, you would not have liked it because Chelsea, your former team, or Tottenham have not been performing good. So according to you, in your opinion, how should the Premier League be concluded? Like they are saying they'll play it in 1 month, like a World Cup style, but that may be again because of 2 months rest, it might be slightly dangerous for the players. What do you think?
Well, it's going to be difficult. They've got 92 games to play. So, and I think they're looking at, if you divide that by, it's going to take probably 9-10 weeks. So it's difficult. Maybe if you play 2 games a week, you get by in 6 weeks, 7 weeks, but it's going to be hard. the problem you've got is at the moment over in the UK, you've got players that are very frightened to play. They're actually now, like, I think they've got a meeting this week, which they're looking to start either the 12th of June or the 19th of June. And the first game that they're going to be putting on TV behind closed doors will be Tottenham against Manchester United. So that'll be a great game. But it will be very strange. You know, you're playing with no fans. You know, it's going to be difficult. And I think the players were a bit frightened because once they play, they have to go home. So they might have caught something at the stadium or whatever. We don't know. We just don't know what's going to happen. And for me personally, I think they should cancel the league and then work something out, how they do the promotion, how they do the relegation and things like that, because it's too dangerous at the moment. Lives are more important than football.
Definitely, life is more important, but that won't be music for the Liverpool fans. So
Yes, I know that. Are you a Liverpool fan?
yeah, I am a Liverpool fan.
Yeah, but I think what will happen is, I think because they're so far ahead, that I think the league will say, look, Liverpool would have won the league anyway. Let's give it to them. But you can never ever say you won the league. We gave you the league.
That's sad, but okay. Now we'll move on to the next question, and I'll put you in a difficult position here because as a player you have achieved a lot, and I would like, if you had to pick one moment as your something that you would cherish throughout your life as a player and as a coach, which one that would that be?
As a player, I think winning the UEFA Cup and being captain and scoring the goal that won us the trophy, that will always be a fantastic memory for me. And then as a coach, I have quite a few. I have one that when I was manager at Clyde Football Club in Scotland, we beat Celtic and knocked them out of the Scottish Cup. And that was being a Rangers man, that was a massive achievement for myself. But also, I think if you're asking me about Nepal and what was one of the greatest achievements there, I would think when Saga put that goal in against Pakistan in the 90th minute, it was no more than what we deserved. We played very well on the day, and all of it, you know, in them games, there's not a lot in the games usually. There's usually one goal or two, you know, 1-1 or 2-1 or something like that. And we had played really, really well that day. And when you go into the 90th minute and you think, well, we're not going to get anything out of this game, and then we score, then all the emotions came out in that SAF Cup and in India. And we should have, I know we went out against Afghanistan in the semi-final, which that day we played really well, and we gave two sloppy goals away, and we ended up losing 2-1 or 1-0, whatever it was. And at the end of it, you know, after all the hard work we put in, it was a disappointment that we lost that game. But, you know, at the end of it, you have to take what comes. And I think the boys, if we'd have stuck together, I think the next tournament, we would have won the tournament. We would have, because we would have prepared better, and we would have had the experience that what we experienced on that day, and that would have come in a lot.
So again, I'll put you in the spot, okay? And this is again a question which has just come in. So if you had to choose a five-a-side team from your days in Nepal, who would the players be?
I can't remember half of them.
You just name few.
Oh no, I'm trying. Well, you've got to have the goalkeeper, Kieran, Saga. I'm trying to think of the players. I'm trying. It's so long ago. What you're talking 2010, I think, isn't it? It's 10 years ago. I'm trying to think. Give me some names and I'll go through them.
Anil Gurung.
Anil, yeah, he was good. Anil was good, very good, very
Rohit,
good. Rohit, yes. Rohan,
Rohit, Anil Gurung, Sagar Thapa, Kiran.
Kieran, yeah. I think, you know, we have to have a goal scorer. I'm trying to look for a goal scorer.
You have
Give me the
Anil, right?
strikers. Virat, wasn't there? Virat,
Yeah.
he was a good player. Virat, he was. He was one of my favourites. I liked him when he played. He always gave 100%, and he was a quality player.
Okay, I'll let that question go. Okay, for now. So
That was very difficult. Very difficult.
Yeah.
I should have got my books out and had a look who played for me.
Okay, like now I'll ask you one thing. Like as a coach, if you had to describe yourself and your team with one adjective, what would that be?
If I had to
Describe your
myself,
team.
my team, my team, yeah.
Yeah.
I think personally, I think when I took them over, I thought they were a team. When I first saw them train, I thought there's a lot of work got to go into this, because you had players that just ran everywhere, didn't want to play in a position. In a football team, you have to have a structure, and we had to get that structure right. And it took me probably about 6 months to get them into a formation that they could understand how to play. And if you have a look, when we started off, so when I first saw them play, they played 4-4-2. We changed it to 3-5-2. And it gave us more options of going forward, more options to attack, more options to get goals, and it worked. So I think structure-wise, it was the right way for the club, but it took a long time. It took to get them into that way of playing, And I think the one problem I had when I first took over, Saga was a very, very strong character. Everybody went through him. So he was the captain. Everybody would, he would say something and everybody would just listen to him. So I had to get to know him better than everybody else, because if you get the captain on your side and he believes in what you're doing, then I think you have a very good chance of getting a very good team. Sometimes, yes, he could push the buttons and he would go beyond, but he knew he could only push me so far. But he was a very good captain. He was a very good player, and he was a top man.
So, do you have any words for maybe coaches or players who are just starting out?
Yeah. Right. For players, I would say you have to work very hard. You have to put in all the training. People in Nepal, because the league, you have to get 100% fit every game. You have to be 100% fitness-wise. When I turned up, we did some running and people couldn't do it. They've never had it before. So the fitness has to be a lot better, because if you become a lot fitter, you can run more, you can play more, and you have a better ability. So the fitness is a big factor for players. I think coaches, always believe in what you want to do. Yes, you can take advice from other people, but at the end of it, you have to make the decisions that are vital and stick to what you believe in. And I always believed that the players were good players, and they believed in me. And if you can get the players on your side, then you have a good chance.
So, Graham, on that note, I'll ask you one final question. These are very controversial,
Okay, mate.
and probably the most difficult.
Another controversial.
Yeah.
Another controversial one, huh?
I want it to be viral, the video. So I will ask you controversial questions, So,
Okay, no problem.
whom do you prefer, Lionel Messi or Cristiano Ronaldo?
I don't think it's a controversial question. I think they're both fantastic players. I think, for me personally, I think Cristiano has played in more countries, where Messi has done it in the Spanish league and in Europe, like the Champions League. But if you look at what Cristiano Ronaldo's done, he's played in England, he's played in Spain, now he's playing in Italy, he's played in Portugal. So, he has been to a lot of countries. And for me, what he's done, you can't split them. I think they're both wonderful players. But for him to do it in every country and score lots of goals, Cristiano Ronaldo is the one for me.
So Graham, thank you so much for talking to us, and we wish you all the best for your future endeavors. Are you coming into management anytime soon? Because it's been quite a while.
I'm not really. I've had 2 offers, but I turned them down. But I just think maybe one day I'll come back to Nepal and say hello and meet everybody, and maybe they'll invite me back one day.
So hopefully you come back and you possibly complete the job that you left, maybe halfway, maybe win the SAF.
Well, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know when the SAF championships are again. I don't know. Do you have a coach now?
Yeah, we have a coach now.
From where?
He's from Sweden.
Sweden. Oh, okay. So he must be good. Yeah?
I have not followed him a lot, so I cannot give you my verdict. And maybe he's good, maybe he's bad. But definitely, as I said to you earlier, you have been one of the fan favorites. You are still the fan favorite, so they would probably welcome you with open arms.
Well, let's see what happens in the years to come.
So I wish you all the best for your future endeavors, and hopefully we can talk again soon, maybe face to face when you come back in Nepal. Thank you for coming on the show. Thank you so much.
Lovely. Good luck. All the best. Good luck to all the supporters.